Okay, it's time for the final trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, or also Tears of the Kingdom nowadays. And what do I expect? People always say what they expect from the new game. I'm not quite sure. I'm one of those people that hasn't been flashed that hard before yet. No. Like I'm moderately hyped, but not super extremely super duper hyped. Like, I know it's gonna be a great game. I have it pre-ordered, but something about all the trailers before this one, or maybe this one will not make me hyped either, haven't really done the greater job at making me hyped. Same with the gameplay demonstration. Like, the new abilities look cool and everything, but you can't force yourself to be hyped. Like, you either look at something and you think, wow, holy shit, this is the best thing ever made, or you just kind of think, okay. So, I hope that maybe this trailer will make me really, really hyped. Like, I have it pre-ordered. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if the trailer sucks, it sucks. If the trailer is good, it's good. So, in one way, it doesn't even matter. Oh, I could have been the 1000th liked. It was like 999. Also, I'm watching it on YouTube. Even on YouTube, it's like, when it comes to streams, YouTube is always like 20 seconds behind. But the thing is, on Twitch, I mean, I think Nintendo doesn't do ads, but sometimes on Twitch you have like ads, and I wouldn't want to have an ad in the middle of the trailer, which wouldn't happen, but I'm a little bit paranoid sometimes. Every time I do one of those personality tests, paranoia is pretty high up. But the thing is also, I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize if I sound a little bit stuffed in my nose and stuff like that. And I'm gonna take a nap afterwards. So, what do I expect? That's what I wanted to talk about. I don't think we're gonna see real dungeons. And that's gonna be like the saddest part for most people, I think. I do think, they're gonna go ruin-styled things, Obviously, the Divine Beasts are somewhat of a dungeon. They are dungeons, a little bit different. Like, the thing is, I'm not even that much of a hater of the Divine Beasts or Titans. I thought they were pretty alright. They were different than the classical Zelda dungeon, where you go to a room, you solve the puzzle in the room, you get an open door, or you get a key to open the door, and now you go to the next room and solve the puzzle in there. Here, the overall puzzle was like playing around with like the mechanics of the Divine Beast, or Titan, whatever you want to call them. The one thing, I think the Divine Beast wouldn't have been so looked down upon if they actually had... if they actually had different aesthetics. If every Divine Beast had its own theme, just like how many shrines were just the same, if those had their own theme, I think people would have liked them more. Also, what I want, boss battles that make my socks come off. I think in Breath of the Wild, all of the boss battles feels too samey. Probably because the Ganon Phantom things look the same. Like, obviously they look a little bit different, but they're all made out of the same thing and stuff like that. Sorry for that one. I had to mute my microphone real quick while I was sneezing. And those bosses were fun, maybe, but, I kind of wish there would have been bosses that made me think, holy shit, I really have to use what I have. Like, the only boss that really made me think, oh, I have to use this thing, this ability that I got, was the Phantom Ganon with the lightning, where you can pull the things out of the ground and make him hit himself with the thunder in the Gerudo Desert Dungeon Beastie. I thought that was like one of the only bosses that actually required you. He didn't even require it. Like, I want bosses that make you really use the things you have. Like a boss. I mean, you also had to use like the ice things in the water dungeon, but it didn't feel like a classical Zelda boss, right? Like in a classical Zelda boss, you, for example, water dungeon, Ocarina of Time, you get your hookshot, you pull Morgra, I forgot the name of the little thing in the water, something with an M, or maybe I'm totally wrong. You put him out of the water, you kill him, and you need to use the items you've gotten in the dungeon. Obviously, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom are completely different Zelda kind of games, so obviously I can't expect those things to be in these games, but a bit of the traditional styled things that get a little bit, into the newer style would be nice, but, it's its own thing in a way, so I would like old classical dungeon, whoopsies, obviously mixed with the newer kind of dungeon. Like, basically I'm saying I want a Divine Beast kind of dungeon where you don't have the classical Zelda go from room to room kind of dungeon, but more like the Divine Beast mechanics where you have to manipulate them, but with an aesthetic. I don't want them to be just grown inside. You know, like, the thing is, they won't be back. Divine Beasts are gone. We're probably going to see some kind of ruins, like, where you go under the ground, and that's kind of like a dungeon. And I want those ruins. I mean, it would be the perfect sense. It would make the perfect sense to have those things be dungeons again, just maybe different. Like, they're not going to go back to the classical dungeon style. But the thing is, I'm talking too much about the dungeons, but that's one of the things that everyone wants to have, and we're going to see if they're going to come back in 10 seconds. And obviously we're going to see probably the story stuff too. So I hope the volume is going to be fine like this on half volume. So, you know, I'm excited for the trailer. Hello everyone. Okay, hopefully this doesn't already count for the 3 minutes, you know. Also, it's so insane that it's only 1 month away. Like, it doesn't even feel like it. It has been 6 years. 6 years. That actually blows my mind. Like, it doesn't feel like 6 years. I'm excited too. Oh, am I recording? Yes, I am. It's gonna be hard to, you know, be as good as the one in 2017, you know? Many people say that's one of the best trailers ever, especially from Nintendo, and I would agree with that. Okay, that's the sky, and we are all the way up on the mountains, or in the sky, I mean. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's see if this is gonna be the trailer. Am I also on... Oh no, wait, Auto is always worse. Fuck. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, there's a goblin fighting against a slime. Oh, no, wait, that's one of those robot things. Hey, he's putting down the tree. Don't do that. Oh, that's Linky. Linky is coming in hard. Battle Royale style. Sorry, I had to make that joke. Okay. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. It kind of looks like Link is wearing a diaper. I don't know. Maybe that's my... it's not my fetish. You know. Okay, we have the glider. There's the, like, one of the thingy things. What's the thing in the background there? Okay, that's... Oh, they're trying to build up Hyrule Town again, but... I mean, what's the structure on the bottom right? I mean, that was a... Oh, okay, that was a shrine, but it probably is, like, upgraded shrine. Because of the thing. Oh, is that Morgera again? Oh, no, it's coming out. Oh, okay, that looks like a dungeon. And now Cass obviously flying into the air. Oh, Ganon. A dwarf. And goodbye, Zelda. You're not allowed to be going on the adventure with... Oh, that's underground. In a flying fucking ship. That's... Okay. Fucking Mission Impossible. Oh, you kinda had to protect those NPCs, right? And that's a Zona, isn't it? Ooh, that's a big golem, dude. Ohio Castle. Oh, Zelda.
Zelda. We rely on your knight, and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
Look at those earrings. Thing is, what is Zelda doing? Like, is it... Oh, that's a big ball. Like... Oh, that's a little birdie. Oh, escort missions, nice. I don't like escort missions, but, you know, they could be fun. Oh, a rocket? And that's a big jump. Okay, that looks like so much like a normal dungeon. And that's a nice structure he built. And that's Ice Dragon.
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Okay, the voice acting still, you know. The question I have is like, is Zelda like in the past or something?
Revival and the birth of his new world.
Oh, that's a cute enemy.
Let's go! You are not alone.
Wait, you can fight together with...
Link. You are our final hope.
I would say it was a good trailer. You know, that made me reasonably hyped for the game, which I already kind of was, not too much, but you know, this was pretty good. This was epic. What does the chat say? Is it even enabled or disabled? Oh wait, it
Link.
continues.
You must find me.
And the thing is, she falls into a hole, but the hole is literally, it looks like it's not a fucking hole instead of the hole. It's like a completely different world. And there was like a lot of theories about like going back to the past and going back to the, not back into the past, but going into like an underground world. And you would expect an underground world to actually, like, this looks more like an underground world. Like this, oh wait, why is it? Oh wait, it's because, oh wait, if I go, okay, wait, let me wait for the real, is it already uploaded, like, or do we have to wait? Because when I go, if I want to go back, I want to go back, and I want to, you know, go through this little part here. But I guess that's what I have to do. You know, like, there was like some part where it looked like Link was obviously in an underground world. Let me find this real quick. Like, obviously we have an overworld, and then probably we have like this underground world. Like, it's not just the heaven and normal Hyrule, but also an underground world. Like, where there's lots of lava. Like, there's also like malice coming out of the volcano. Like, you can probably go under the world like this. Oh, whoops. This looks like you're under the normal world, so there would be like the underground, the overground, and the sky. But the thing is, Zelda falls into a hole, and Zelda is literally in a completely freaking different dimension of a world where you see her fall into a hole. Because the thing is, that is like the jungle area in the bottom left. Which then implies that she fell into a hole, and the hole put her back into the past or something. Because this looks kind of, you know, the sky, there's nothing in the sky and things like that. It doesn't feel like she's in the same timeline as Link. Because it would be easy to find her if she would be in the normal timeline. And this looks like a dungeon. Or this could, it maybe is a dungeon, or maybe one of the entrances to the underground world. Or, you know, obviously you probably go down under Hyrule Castle to explore there too, in the underground. Like, look, this is like a whole, like, it's probably how the game starts, right? Like, Zelda gets put into her misery of she's not allowed to do anything cool again, which is kind of sad. It's so sad. I really wish Zelda would actually play a big role in a Zelda game again. Twilight Princess, not much. Wind Waker, I mean, Tetra was the coolest Zelda ever. Then they kind of massacred her when she turned into Zelda. She never does anything. Like, look at this. This looks like, obviously, this is like, the thing is, if you go into our world, there's lava everywhere too. But this looks more like a Death Mountain kind of underground civilization, but it could be like not a classical dungeon, or it could be like a town to explore. Like, this could be like a whole town. I don't know why there's a freaking ship in the winter region, but it looks pretty cool. It's flying. There's walls in the air. Mission Impossible. I mean, this looks like the entrance to an actual dungeon, or maybe to the underground world. And maybe the people from the underground world do not like, you know, this looks like also an actual older puzzle, but you can see the electricity things from Breath of the Wild 1, which maybe you have to turn on, and then something happened with these balls, because we see these balls later on, where you build like these platforms. This looks also like, I think, in a way, classical dungeons are probably back. Or like, again, not classical dungeons, but like ruins that feel like classical dungeons. Like, this is obviously a boss. We have seen this before, didn't we? Like in one of the trailers. But this looks like in the ruins where everything is like super duper dark. Like, look at the blackness. Like, this doesn't look like underground. It looks like the ruins we already visited in Breath of the Wild, but they changed. And that also plays into where we saw like a new upgraded shrine in Kakariko. I do think we go back to some of the shrines. Like, obviously they won't have 120 again, but I do think we're gonna see some of the shrines we've seen before, but upgrade, because they are new shrines with the new upgraded functions, right? Was this where Kakariko was? Like, obviously, Hyrule Town is getting built up again. Like, here in Kakariko, we see... this was like the combat shrine from the first game, and there's a new structure here for whatever reason. I don't know if it fell from the sky, probably because they wouldn't just rebuild this like this. But we see the shrine. I mean, this is like Kakariko, right? So, no, wait, this is a new shrine. Like, the outer shrine was like over here, the combat shrine, where you learn how to parry and stuff. And now we have like this thing. This looks like, okay, maybe it's not a shrine. Like, it looks like a shrine, but maybe it's like a fast way to get into the sky, so you don't have to wait. Like, normally you go into the sky from like falling things that fall under, but maybe this one is like always shooting you up. So maybe there's like something above Kakariko, so you don't have to wait to get up. This kind of look like a shrine. It looks like a shrine. Maybe it's like a shrine. Maybe they changed the shrine, which would also imply why is the shrine from Kakariko that normally is here. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm blind. Like, maybe it's destroyed because things fell on it. I kind of thought it's like a shrine that shows you like, hey, look at me. I'm upgraded shrine, so it's worth going into me again. Also, Ganondorf looks cool as fuck. I have to say that. Now we have the desert again, this structure thing. We have the airship for some reason. And then these boats that were like in-cage and the other thing. Obviously, also he has that glider thing. Like, he doesn't always have a glider, he glided like different glider. Also, it looks like it has a little bit more story-styled cutscenes in a way. The thing is, the first Breath of the Wild trailer also kind of baited you into thinking it has more story than it actually had in the actual game, you know, because there was like so many cutscenes, and then most of the time in Breath of the Wild you don't see cutscenes except when you actually go somewhere, and then they were kind of short. But here you kind of feel like even if you go to a town, you get cutscenes inside of the town and stuff, and then, you know, I think it has probably like more, like, obviously the thing in Breath of the Wild, you had like more past memories. Like, the only story you really got was like past memories and a little bit in the present. But here it feels like, you know, all the story stuff is happening in the same time, so you will get more cutscenes and everything. Even though this also makes me think, since they wouldn't rebuild the throne room as fast, like, right? Like, in the Zelda universe, I would think they would rather rebuild Hyrule Castle before the king says they don't even have a king at the moment, probably. I mean, it's only Zelda, and Zelda is the kind of woman or person who would say we want to rebuild the towns first before we rebuild our town, before we rebuild our castle, right? So this is actually, look at that. That is probably from the past or from the future. Like, this has something to do with Zelda being warped to a different dimension. Because if you think about this, at the end of Breath of the Wild, you fall through the floor and everything is like broken. And like, again, you know, Zelda is not the kind of person that would rather rebuild her throne room than the town first. So obviously, maybe they did that. That would mean Zelda, you know, I misjudged her, but I do think this is like from the past. Look at also the things fluttering around. Now, this is like a thing from the past. Like, we maybe go back to the past and maybe we go for the future. I don't know which direction we go. But this is like part of it. This is like part of, you know, the thing where Zelda ends up. The thing is I want to see Link's arm. Like, it looks like his arm. Okay, it's still kind of, I mean, we don't see his arm here. Like, the arm is like hiding it. It looks like he's in the past. Because his arm is like completely normal. Like, you would kind of think that, I mean, they're hiding it through the armor, right? Like, this is armor and not his arm being that black weird thing that it turns into. Like, it looks like he is normal, like he was in the past or future. And maybe the story is gonna be like, Ganon is too fucking strong, and we have to go to the past or the future.
And that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link. To
somehow weaken him from there. Like, the thing is, it goes to the past probably, because Zonai was like an ancient civilization, right? Like, I am not super duper into the Breath of the Wild lore. I didn't even know Zonai existed like a month ago. Like, okay, you know, I didn't learn much about the lore from the normal game. Like, that's like mostly things you learn when you actually look at the wiki page. So the Zonai were like an ancient civilization that built most of the ruins. So if we go to the past, maybe those ruins are like, you know, actually still there. And they also built like those robots. So the things that we see falling from the sky are probably like things from the past, because there's also a rewind function. So there's time traveling. I'm gonna call it there's time traveling, and at one point in the game, when you feel it's gonna be the Zelda moment. It's gonna be the kind of moment where you go to the Dark World in A Link to the Past. It's gonna be the one kind of moment where you become an adult in Ocarina of Time. It's gonna have one of those moments where you think you beat the game, and then suddenly, bam, you have so much more to explore. Because you get like an actual out version of Hyrule that wasn't destroyed or something like that. I hope. But even if that doesn't happen, we have like the underground, we have the sky, we have the normal Hyrule. There's like so much to explore, but I do think there's like that one big twist here with the past and Zelda being like, you know,
Link.
I think that's, you know, and we actually fight alongside the new champions. Like this bird. I don't even remember that bird from Breath of the Wild 1. But I remember Sido or Sidon and I am bad with names. Also, this looks like so cool. This reminds me a little bit of the Skyward Sword lava dungeon with the whales. If that had whales. I'm not quite sure. I think it had kind of something to do with whales. Also, no, this structure doesn't look nice, but, you know, you can probably build way cooler things than this little block driving around. Also, you can, the thing is linked, isn't it like $300? Also cool armor though, and the thing is, horse armor, did that already exist in Breath of the Wild? The thing is, I haven't played Breath of the Wild with a horse. I didn't like the horse controls, it makes sense. I also didn't have the Epona amiibo stuff, which makes it probably more fun. I never used a single horse. I think there was like some kind of saddle stuff, but I don't know if there was actual horse armor. Maybe you can actually customize your horse a little bit more now. Okay, also the thing is, why do the enemies have this thing in their thing and it kills them? Also, look at that thing. I mean, it looks like, I don't even know what it looks like. It looks like one of the dragons, like Nairu dragon, or I forgot the names of the dragons. Like, where's it named after these three goddesses? Like Din, Nairu. I'm not quite sure. Like, my Zelda lore is not up to date. But this looks cool. Like I said, I want cooler bosses, and we're getting those. Like, this is a cool looking boss. Especially, the thing is, you fight him in the air like this. Like, look at there's a platform, and you probably, like, fly up again, then shoot him into the face, fly onto a platform again to recover stamina. This looks cool. Also, why is my model Sanyo?
I know why.
And look, this is like too peaceful. Like, this is the past where things were still okay.
Something only I can do.
Again, I'm gonna play the game in Japanese.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
He looks cool as fuck, I have to say. Also, look at that enemy. It just comes out of the ground. Looks cool.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. I mean, I don't know, that is also like a Zona, but that looks like a Zona that actually fights alongside us, which probably comes from the past or something. Or maybe they were hiding underground, like, I don't know. Also, nice tummy, nice abs. Nice feet though, too. No, sorry. Like, it looks like you actually have, like, missions. Also, I like the bucket on the NPC, where you escort them, or you, like, the Goron is that the whiny one from, that you, he looked different, right? Like, the whiny one you had to actually escort to the dungeon in Breath of the Wild. Where is that him? Like, well, what if you could actually hire them, and it's not just for specific missions, but it's actually like, if you want to fight alongside them, you can fight alongside them whenever you want. But since there's cutscenes for them and everything, I think it's specific missions, sadly. Also, obviously, a nice classical throwback to the boss from Zelda 1, the three-headed dragon.
Final hope.
I have to say, this made me pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped. So, you know, I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I'm obviously not someone that can analyze something that well. Like, this is the first time I actually kind of analyze something like this. So
You must find me.
I kind of just wanted to be a little bit more than just you know, watching a 3-minute trailer. So I wanted to kind of look through it, say my mustard. That's what we say in Germany. You know, ich gebe meinen Senf dazu. Where you add your mustard, you know, because, well, mustard is pretty tasty on hot dogs, especially. So, you know, I'm really bad at ending videos, so I hope you have a good time, and especially a good time with the game too. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day while I take a nap. Even though my nose feels kind of fixed now, so maybe I don't need a nap. But you know, you should take a nap if you're sleepy. Good night.